Anjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri-gurave namaha. Vandeham Sri-guror Sri-yutapad-kamalam Sri-gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri-rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana-raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Sadvatam Savdhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktabhyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya Tanvayaditaratas Charte Subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyante Yat Suraya Teja Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimaya Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 24, verse number 43. These are prayers of Lord Shiva called Rudra Gita to which he instructed to Prachetas. And basically these are just offering obeisances to the different forms of the Lord who are the deities of the senses for purification. And we've been reading how he tried to purify the mind, the intellect, the ego, chitta, the senses, and then prayers to the personality who is personification of the mantra, personification of dharma, and gives the result of adharma, everything. So now here in this verse he prays to the form of the Lord as the cause of ahankara. Shakti Traya Sametaya Midhushaya Hankritatmane Chaitya Kurti Rupaya Namo Vacho Vibhutaye. My obeisances to the Lord, who is the conglomeration of three potencies in the form of agent, action, and the cause of action of the senses, who is called Midhusha, which is a name for Shiva, and who is the personification of Ahankara, the ego, and who manifests as mind and the action, and whose vibhuti is the Veda. So basically there is prayer here to Ahankaratma or Adhastratri Devata of Ahankara, which is Rudra, Shiva. And as we know from Sankhya, that Ahankar manifests in three ways. It manifests as the mind and the cognitive senses, manifests as the working senses, manifests also as the matter. So we have 11 forms of Rudra, and these basically signify also the 11 senses, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge-gathering senses, and the mind, because they all come from Ahankar. Lord Shiva is supposed to have 5 heads. So those are the 5 elements. So in that sense, Lord Shiva is a personification of that Sankhya, all the principles of Sankhya manifest in him. He holds this Trishul, the trident, and these are the 3 divisions of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas of the Ahankara. So Ahankara is the important part in our body, because everything is functioning on the basis of Ahankara. This ego, I consciousness, although we think that Ahankara is bad, but Ahankara is the basis on which we function, because no action can happen without Ahankara. If you go beyond Ahankara, then there is no action. So that's why he says that Shakti Traya Sameta, or in which there is the source or union or merging of the 3 energies as Karta, Karma and Karma. So Karta, the agent, the doer, is the Ahankara in the form of mind, and Karana are the senses, which also manifest from Ahankara. And then the action happens in matter, in Panchabhuta. All the activities are happening in the elements. So it is all actually play of Ahankara only, if you see from Sankhya point of view. Then the subject, the object, and things which relate subject and object, the senses, they are all manifestation of Ahankara. If there is no Ahankara, then there is no desire to act, there is no action, and there is nothing to act upon. So if there is Ahankara, then there is desire to act, and when there is desire to act, then you need instruments of action. And when there are instruments of action, you also need the object on which the senses can act. So this is Shakti Traya Samhita, these are the 3 Shakti. And therefore he says Midhushaya Ahankritatmani. Midhushaya is the name of Shiva, and he is the presiding deity of Ahankara. And Cheta Akriti Rupa, Akuti Rupaya. Cheta is the consciousness, awareness, the mind, and Akuti is the function. So it can also refer to the senses, 2 types of senses, knowledge senses and action senses. Namo Vacho Vibhutaye. And Vacho Vibhuti is the Vedas, manifestation, the knowledge. Because action precedes knowledge. First there is knowledge, then there is desire, then there is chesta. Atmajanya bhaved ichcha, ichchajanya bhaved chesta. Atmajanya bhaved ichcha, ichchajanya bhaved kriti. Kriti janya bhaved chesta, chesta janya bhaved kriya. So when action happens, actually physical action happens, there are subtle things which happen before that. There is kriti, which in English cannot translate. Kriti basically also means action, but it is the action which is in the mental level. Before, or maybe at the nervous level, before your hand, legs move and the action actually happens, there is a movement, electrochemical changes which happen. And before that is the chesta, which also means action. In English, chesta, kriti and kriya, they all mean same. But these are the subtle levels from at psychosomatic level, from going from mind to the body. There are 3 levels. And this is preceded by knowledge, desire. Because desire is actually the, you can say, the unmanifest action. So from desire manifest mental action, and then there is further psychic action or nervous action, and then there is a physical action. And desire is preceded by knowledge, because there is no desire if there is no knowledge. So therefore he has included this vacho vibhutaye, that I pray to the source of knowledge, the Veda. Veda means knowledge. So ahankarasya adhidayavadi bhedatraya sahitasya punarapi tad adhishtatri daivat swarup pranatya sansodhanamaha shakti. So ahankarasya adhidayavadi bhedatraya. There are 3 divisions of ahankara: adhidaiva, adhibhut and adhyatmik. So adhibhut are the gross ones, and adhidevas are the deities of the senses and the senses, and adhyatma is the mind. So these are the 3 divisions. So he is again praying, although earlier there was already prayer for the deity of ahankara. It was already done. But now he is again praying, because the purification of ahankara is most important. So he says that these are the 3 divisions. Punarapi, again, tad adhishthatri daivat swarupa pranatya. By bowing down to the presiding deity of that 3 divisions, adhidevik, adhibhautik, adhyatmik. Sanshodhana maha, purification, it is spoken here in this verse. Kartri karma karana shakti traya sametaya. So one who has the 3 powers of doer, action and the instruments of action. Nidhushaya Rudra Swarupaya, one who is manifest as Rudra. Ahankritam ahankaras tadatmane. Bho Rudra Swarupa Hare. So ultimately prayer is to Lord Hari, to Krishna, in the form of Shiva. Mama ahanta mamtayor vrittaya shuddhyantu. Let my functions of ahanta and mamta, I and my, be purified. Bhakti mayo bhavantu. Let they be devotional. Because our I and my are usually manifest in the material world in non-devotional manner. Tubhyam nama iti. Jnanendriya karmendriyanam shuddhimaha cheto jnanam akutikriya. And then purification of cognitive senses and working senses. It is spoken in the cheta akriti akuti rupaya. So in the form of cheta refers to the cognitive senses. Because cheta literally means awareness, consciousness. So cognitive senses are the one which brings us awareness of the objects. And akuti means action. So this refers to the working senses. Tadrupaya, Brahmarupaya, and then Vacho Veda Lakshanaya Vivdha Bhuti. That various types of bhuti or srishti or creation in the form of the speech indicated by the Veda. Tasmai Tatha Vacha Heti Taduplakshita Nam Karmendriya Nam Suddhir Vyanjita. And by Vacha, the speech, it also indicates the purification of the working senses. Because speech is one of the working senses. Kartri Karman Karan Gyanendriya Namapi Suddhi Purva Muktam Api Punar Anya Pranatya Api Geya. So although the purification of cognitive senses were already prayed for earlier, now it is again prayed here in this particular verse. Here Rudra Swarup Hare Mam Buddhi Prana Vrittir Bhakti Unmukhi Karu Tubhyam Namati. O Lord Hari, who is personification, who is manifest as Rudra, my intellect, my prana vritti, because all the senses they function with the prana. Let they be favorable towards devotion. They engage in the process of devotion. This is the prayer. With this intention, I bow down to you. So up till now, he has prayed for purification. Purification of each element, each sense, internal sense, external senses, prayer to the worshipable deities, all the elements, all this has been done. And then now he prays to see the form of the Lord, because when one has purified, then one can see the Lord, one can approach the Lord. So that is the next verse he speaks. Darshanam no didrikshunam dehi bhagavatarchitam rupam priyatam swanam sarvendriya gunanjanam. Says that please give us the darshan of your form, which is very dear to your devotees and which is worshipped by the devotees. We who are Didrikshu, who are very eager to see this form. Sarvendriya Gunanjana, which is like the anjan for all the senses and all the qualities of the senses. So just as when you apply anjan to the eyes gain strength, become purified. Like that, all the senses, their real function actually is to see the Lord. So therefore he prays for that. Evam smarana pranati bhireva swasya dehendriya manusam shuddhya yogitam apadya darshanam prarthyate navadhi. So in this way, after the purification is done of the body, of the senses, of the mind, and one has attained the qualification, then he prays for the darshan of the Lord in 9 verses. Darshanam dehi, please give me the darshan. Nanu kidrisham darshanam bhavad abhimatam dadami tatra. So Lord asks, which is the darshan you want? which is liked by you, which is appreciated by you. So he says, Bhagavatair Architam. I want to see that form which is worshipped by the devotees. Natu bodhadhyayati, not that which is worshipped by the followers of Buddha. Means I don't want to see Buddha form. So it means that he is not only asking for Brahman realization, he is also not asking form which is not surrounded by devotees. He wants to see the form which is with the devotees. Because Lord, he has his Swarupananda and he has his Bhaktiananda. So Bhaktiananda is more blissful than just the Swarupananda. And that is manifest with the devotees. So just as Lord is pleased when he is called by the name in relationship to his devotees, when he is called Yashodanandana, and that is more pleasing to him than just calling him simply Ishvara or Paramatma or Bhagavan or something like that. So that name which relates to his devotees, because he likes his devotees. So the devotees are reminded and his activities are reminded, this is pleasing to him. Just as if you are with a person and you remind him of somebody whom he loves, then immediately his mood is more mellow, soft, and he is happy. So therefore he says, I want to see that form which is worshipped by the devotee, Bhagavata. If you want to see the form which is not Bhagavata Architam, which is Bodha Architam, then you are not going to get much except some Vipassana training. That you can sit down and make your mind wide and be happy. No more prasad or anything like that, or singing, dancing. All these things are not for Buddhistic people. They are not allowed this. Even if you get food, just mix everything together in one pot and eat it. You want to do that? Okay, go to Buddha. So he is not interested in that. Therefore he says Bhagavata Architam. Rupam Rupavat Swanam Priyatamam. So the word Rupam, he is translating it as not just form, but that who has a form. He is applying Matup. When Matup is applied on a quality, it is dropped. There is a rule like that. So Rupam means form, it can also mean one who has a form. And not only one who has form, Rupam also means beauty. Like you say that he is Rupavan. So when you say that he is Rupavan, Rupa means form, it does not mean that he has a form. We use this word means he has a beautiful form. That's what Rupavan means. So therefore Rupam here means Rupavat, which means he has beautiful form. And therefore Swanam Priyatamam, for that form which is very dear, not dear but most dear, Priyatama, Tama Pratyaya, who is most dear to his own people, his devotees, Swanam. So he says, Vairaj Darshanam Vyavrittam. By this he is excluding the universal form, that you show me form but don't show me this universal form which you showed to Arjuna. Not this type, but the wonderful form loved by your devotees. And Sarvendriya Gunai Rupadibhi Anjanam Ikshnam Atyashaktir Yatra. So Anjan, it signifies attachment. Anjum Rakshane. Vyaktayam Vachi. And Mraksham means like soft, like butter. If you put your finger, it doesn't stop, it just goes in. So if you have, therefore if you want butter, you have to turn your finger, otherwise nothing will come out. So he says that form which is Anjana for the Indriya and the Gunas. Indriya Guna Anjanam. Ikshanam Atyashaktir Yatra, which means there is strong attachment. Taditi, and by this Brahma Darshanam api Vyavrittam. So this excludes darshan of Brahman, because in Brahman there is no attachment. Brahman is indifferent. Brahman does not care for anybody, because there is nothing to care in Brahman. He is so big that he cannot see anything small. So therefore he says that I am not interested in Brahman. I am also not interested in this Virat form, the universal form, and I am also not interested in the other forms which appear limited, like Buddha form, but those which are worshipped by the devotees. So this is the meaning. Yadva, or he gives another meaning. Sarvendriyanam gunanjanam Gunayuktam hitkaranam Anjanam Manayadi Sarvendriyani Yatra Durvishya Grahana Rupam Andhyam Parityajya Swaswa Chakshu Prapnuvanti. Another meaning is that Indriya Gunanjanam. Guna means the quality. That thing where the real quality of the sense manifests. So Gunayuktam, and what is the quality? Hitkaranam, that which brings benefit. Anjanam. So Manayadi Sarvendriyani Yatra Durvasha Grahanam Rupam Andhyam Parityajya, where all the senses beginning from mind onwards, they give up the blindness in the form of accepting improper objects of those senses. And therefore Swaswa Chakshu Prapnuvanti. It's a very interesting explanation he gives. He says that every sense has got his own eye. The nose has his eye, and the ear also has its eye, or its vision. And this eye is functioning only when the nose is doing the proper job. And when it is smelling improper things, then it is like blind. So here the eye is not in the literal sense, but in the sense of seeing things properly. Because what is the function of eye? That with the eye we see things as they are. If somebody is blind, he cannot see things. So therefore he says that we have ear, we have nose, and we even have the eyes, but only when they are functioning in relationship to God, then they are actually having their proper quality. Then they are actually having their proper vision. So if the ears are hearing about God, if the nose is smelling garland or flowers offered to God, and if the tongue is speaking about God, then it is as if they are not blind. Otherwise these senses are blind because they don't know what they are doing. So it's amazing how he brings this meaning, because in the Upanishad there is a statement, Chakshusas Chakshu, that Lord is actually called the eye of the eye. He is called Prana of the Prana. He is called the ear of the ear. Which means that when the eye is seeing the Lord, that is actually the real eye. as we saw that in second canto, in the very beginning, how Sonaka Rishi was speaking. He says that that sense is the real sense which sees the form of the Lord. Otherwise it just Barhayate te naine naranam lingani vishnu nirikshitoye. Says that those eyes which do not see the form of the Lord in the temple, they are like the plumes of a peacock feather. And Shavo Karo no Kurutay Sapariya Hare Lasat Kanchana Kankana. And the hands are the hands of a dead body, they are not doing service to the Lord. And Bilay Batauru Krami Vikraman Yena Shinvata Krami Putena Rasi. And the ears are like the holes for the snakes to live if they don't hear about the Lord. And Jivasati Darduriki Eva Suta Nachopugayati Urugaya Gata. And the tongue which does not sing the Gatha of Urugai, that is the tongue of a frog. So it is only inviting the snake. The frog is croaking and the snake is saying, yes, just wait, I am coming. Don't be so impatient. So that's the meaning of the senses. So this is amazing, this how he gets this. So he says, Parityajya swasva chakshu prapnuvanti. He says, then only they get their own chakshu. Then only the sense is actually having its vision, so to say. That is actually the real purpose of the sense. So now he starts describing the form of the Lord which he wants to see. Snigdha pravrida ghanshamam sarva saundrya sangraham charvayata chaturbahum sujata ruchirananam. That form which is dark in color, like the dense rain cloud. And the rain clouds in the monsoon full of water, how they appear. The clouds, there are various types of clouds, 7 types. I think there are 7 or 8 types of clouds which are found at different heights. So this is the cloud which is called Ghanshyam. And Sarva Saundarya Sangraham, where all the beauty has manifested in one place. And there are 4 long arms, Sujata Ruchira Anand. And there is a very beautiful appealing face. So this is the form which he wants to see. Kincha Tatrapi Snigdha. So not only the form which is worshipped by the Vaishnavas, by the devotees, but Snigdha form means that lovely form. Snigdha literally means oily. Like you have taken some oil massage and after that you are shining. But Snigdha also signifies affection. Because in Ayurveda and in Bhakti there are many terms which are used commonly. So what we call love in Bhakti Shastra, when you come to Ayurveda, in Ayurvedic language that is called oil. Because when you don't have love in your life is dry. And in the same way, your body becomes dry when there is no oil in it. So the treatment according to Ayurveda, now these days people's bodies are very dry. those who do Ayurvedic massage, Ayurvedic, what you call, therapist, they know that these days people's body are very dry because there is no love in their life. So they have to at least take massage. So Lord's body is snigdha. It is just like if you have given oil massage and it is shining. Because he is full of love. So physically he is also like that. When there is love in the heart, then vata is not disturbed. Otherwise people have a lot of vata disturbance these days because there is no love. So there is dryness and airs in the body become disturbed. So he says snigdha pravrida ghansham. So it's very nice bluish blackish form but shiny. There is a glow on this body and therefore most beautiful. So he says that not only what he said in the previous verse, but this form which he wants to see is also full of love, affection, beauty. Because that is the real beauty. Real beauty is the love. Snehavatva. So that's why he brings the word sneha. So sneha, right? Which stage is the sneha after prema? Radhakund. Radhakund experts. So there is prema and then there is
I believe it's
anurag. No.
That's good.
Rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav, they will come later on. So there is man, there is pranaya, man, sneha. So sneha is the stage of love. That's why he translates this as. That snigdha means full of sneha. And as I said that in Ayurveda, sneha means oil and here it means affection, love. It's a stage of love. Sneha jankatva chikkanattvani yuktani. So he is bringing both meaning. Chikkan means like slippery. When you put oil in your body, it becomes slippery, that is called chikkan. So chikkanattvani yuktani. Pravana meghita ras varshitva. Why the Lord's form has the color of a cloud? Why it is always said that his form is like a cloud? All these things have significance. So significance is that just like the clouds, they are pouring rasa. Rasa also means water. Water, one name of water in Sanskrit is rasa. So just as the cloud is pouring rasa, Krishna pours rasa of bhakti, bhakti rasa. That's why his body is like that, like a cloud. It's not really like that, but that is the meaning. And that's why it is said that his bodily color is like the rain cloud, not other cloud. Because if there is no rain in it, it's useless. So Pravrid means the rainy season. That is which is about to pour. And then it is snigdha. What is it going to pour? That affection, which is going to flow out of it. Syamam. And why Syam? Why blackish? Because black is actually the color of the cloud is not really black. If you separate it, you will not see it like this. Then it becomes very compact. That's why Krishna is called Ghana Syam. Ghana means compact. Means that this rasa is so compact in him that it takes the color black. So means he is just full of love. And this is the form I want to see. See what he is saying. Snigdha Pravida Ghanashyam. And that is the beauty. So that's why black is beautiful. Sarva Saundarya. He says this is the what you call the apex of beauty. Sarva Saundarya. Sangraha. But if you collect all the beauties and put them, make one pile and take the essence, then that is Krishna. Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Sarveshameva prakrita aprakrita vastunishtanam saundaryanam sangro yatra tat. So he says that form where there is the sangraha, what you call accumulation, of all the beauties, material, non-material, prakrita, prakrita. That's why he is called Krishna. Complete beauty. Everything. Anything you can think about beauty is there. Yadva saundarya kartrik samyak grahanam akarshanam yatra. Or sangraha, he gives another meaning. Sangraha means to put things together, to accumulate. Sangraha also he means samyak grahanam. Means where there is an attraction caused by beauty. Means that all attraction is lying in him. All beauties are attracted to him and he has the beauty which attracts everything. So means either you say that he is the accumulation of all beauties or he is most attractive. That is the meaning. But there is nothing more attractive than him. That's why the name Krishna or Sankarshan means attract, akarshan. He is using the word akarshan here. And the same word in Sankarshan. Taditi atayeva anyatra tadris saundaryam nasti ityartha. Therefore, anywhere else such beauty is not to be seen. There is nowhere else you can find beauty like that. Yadva, where he is going? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur must have been reeling some kind of a supreme bliss while writing this commentary, because is going on. The words seem like very simple, but he is completely in his devotional mood. He says, Yadva sarva saundaryena kartra samyag ashaktya eva grahanam yasya iti sarva saundaryamapi swam safaletum yadeva granati iti bhava. This is so nice. It says that sarva saundaryena kartra samyag ashaktya eva grahanam yasya. It says that he, the Lord, who is attained only by the complete ashakti by the complete beauty. Which means that if someone is most beautiful, then he feels successful only when he or she attains him. That is the Sarva Saundarya. Sarva Saundaryam api swam safaletum yadeva granati. So this indicates that even Radharani, who is most beautiful, she feels satisfied only after attaining Krishna. That is the meaning of Sarva Saundarya. So it is not the beauty, but the beauty becomes successful only in relation in achieving Krishna. Otherwise it remains incomplete. And then he gives very nice meaning of this Charu Ayat Chaturbahu. Chaturbahu means four arms. And Charu Ayat means spread. Charu means beautiful. So literal means that four long arms. Beautiful, long four arms. But he gives four meanings to this word. First he says Chatasrishu Dikshu Bhujayasya iti Padmanabho Upasakaha. So Charu Ayat says one who has his arms on all sides. So Lord who has 1,000 Sahasra Sirusha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat, he has 1,000 heads, 1,000 arms, 1,000 legs. So he says this is talking about those who worship Padmanabha, the one lotus-eyed Lord who has arms everywhere. Then he gives second meaning, Chatvaro Bhuja Yasya iti Vaikuntha Natha Upasaka, or one who has actually four arms. So this is for those who are worshipping the form of Lord Vaikuntha, Vishnu form. And then he gives his meaning. And actually he does not have four arms, but he is having four arms because he is with Radharani. That is the meaning of Charu Ayat Chaturbhuja. So he says that Prayasi Sahityadeva Chaturbhuja, that his four arms are there because he is there with his beloved Prayasi. And that's why four arms. And they are very beautiful. So this he says Sri Krishna Upasaka. So the Krishna Upasaka take this meaning. Those who are worshipper of Vaikuntha, they take the other meaning. And those who are worshipper of Padmana, they take the other meaning. So Sujata Kamalam Iva Ruchiram Anandam Yasyata. And Sujata Ruchira Anandam, who has a very beautiful, appealing face like a lotus flower. So this is a wonderful commentary he has given on this. Then he continues describing the form of the Lord. Padma Kosha Palashaksham Sundarabhru Sunasikam Sudvijam Sukapolashyam Samakarna Vibhushanam. He has eyes which are beautiful like the Padma Kosha Palasha, like the leaves, inner leaves of the lotus. And Sundara Bhru, he has very nice arched eyebrows. And Sunasikam, very appealing nose. And Sudvijam, very attractive white teeth. And Sukapolasyan, and he has face with nice cheeks. And Samakarna Vibhushanam, and he has ears with beautiful earrings which are equally balanced. So this is not right. And it says Padma Koshasthe Komale Palashe Iva Akshini Yatra Tat. So Padma Koshastha signifies softness, because Padma Palas means lotus leaf, but Padma Koshastha Palas means the inner fresh leaves which are just coming out. So soft, and they have this reddish or pinkish color. So that's how the eyes of the Lord are. And then in the next one it says Priti Prahishatapangamalakairupa Lasata Pankaja Kinjalka Dukulam Vrishta Kundalam. He says that his beauty is appearing very nice because he has this alaka, hair, bent hair, and he is apanga, Priti Prahasita Apanga. He is looking to the side and he is laughing out of Priti. And Lasata Pankaja Kinjalka Dukulam. He has a very nice yellow dress which is shining like the kesar, saffron coming from the lotus. And Mrishta Kundalam. And he has 2 earrings which are shiny. So this is description. Again he gives just this meaning. Priti Vyanjakam Prahasitam api ange Vamanetrante yasya iti preyasi sahityam suchayati. So he says that he is, because it is described here that Priti Prahasita Apangam, that he is having side glance and smiling. So he says this signifies that he is with beloved. That's why he is looking to the left side, because Radharani is standing to the left of Krishna. So he is looking to the left from his eyes and he is smiling happily. So I say this, that is the meaning why it is said here that Priti Prashita Apangam. Otherwise it does not make sense. Because Lord Vishnu, he does not smile usually. He is more serious type of person, more grave. And Krishna is usually not grave. You don't see him that he is like meditative or some kind of graveness on his face. He is always jovial. So therefore this specifically, and because Shiva is, this is Rudra Gita, he is a devotee of Krishna. So Priti Prahasita Pangam. So he is not making it very clear, but indirectly he is referring to Krishna. Alkai Rupa Shobhitam, and he has beautiful curly hair and yellow dress. So he says, this indicates he is not alone. And Spurata Krita Balaya Hara Nupura Mekhalam Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Mala Mani Yuktana Dhimat. Then his ornaments are described. He has his helmet, he has his bracelets, his necklace, and the nupur in the feet, and his belt on the back, and on the hand he has Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Mala Mani Uttam Vidhimit. Now he is talking about the 4 hands. So he has conch, he has chakra, he has club, he has lotus, garland and gems and all his paraphernalia. Shankha Chakra Gada Padmani Kar Chatushtaye Karatal Dvayeva Rekha Rupani Geya. So it says that in the 4 hands he is holding the conch, lotus, his disc and his club. This is if you are seeing this as Vaikuntanath. But what about Krishna devotees? Just now you said he is having 4 hands because he is with Radharani. So he doesn't give up that. He says that this lotus etc. are not in his hand, they are just marks on his hand. Because Krishna has marks on his hand of lotus and disc. And so he says Karatala Dvaiva. So on these two here, these parts. Don't think that he is holding them. So Prankha Rupani again. Or even if he is holding them, then he is just like you have a fan in your hand. Malascha abharanastha maniyascha uttamardhi shobha sampanna. So he says all this garland and a lot of jewelry, gems. This is showing the opulence and beauty. He has all that. So in this way, there is a description of the form of the Lord, and still it continues. We'll read that tomorrow. Any question?
You said that Ankara has its importance.
Yes.
That refers to the false ego or the real ego?
No false.
Hmm?
False. There is no such thing as false ego, material ego and real ego. But everybody has some identity, because your identity is according to the ahankar. So if you also have to have this identity, I am a devotee, isn't it? If you don't have this identity, then you can go and do non-devotional activity. It won't bother you. But if you have identity, I am a devotee, then you will not think of doing something non-devotional, isn't it? So our actions are based on our ahankara. The type of ahankara we have. Ahankara here does not mean pride. It means that gives me my identity, I. Ahankara literally means that which gives you the sense of I, what am I? It is called ahankara. So that is very important. If you don't have that, or if you are not clear about that, if I am not clear whether I am a devotee or I am not a devotee, then I can do anything. But once I know that this is my identity, I am a brahmachari, I am a sannyasi, I am a vanapastha, I am a bhakta, I am this and that, then your behavior is guided by that, naturally. So it's very important to have this identity clear and strong. And it is important from even health point of view, because when this is not strong, then your health is also weak. Because this body is a unit and it functions, because it's actually made of various parts. There are a lot of cells in it, and every cell is working, and they are working for this big one unit. When you don't have a strong ahankara, then these cells, they become insecure. They think that we don't know, this guy is here today and tomorrow he will be here.
It's a case of a split personality.
Yes. So then you start getting problem even at the health level. So it is important to have this strong identity, even to have strong health. Because our inner system is working without our awareness taking part in it. But they have to be given stability. Although everything is changing, every second cells are dying and new cells are coming, yet we need some fixity here. So that stability is necessary. So therefore ahankara is considered also as a tamasic because it gives the stability. It's like the heart is sattvic, buddhi is coming from rajas. Remember? So it is that which gives you stability, and tamas is that which gives you stability. Rajas gives action, sattva gives enlightenment. So if you want to make an action, first of all you have to be stable, and you need knowledge, right? So you need everything. So stability is very important. If you are unstable, then you don't function properly. So that stability comes from the ahankara. Ahankara is also the prithvi tattva. Buddhi is the fire tattva. Mind is the jala tattva. Wavering.
And desire is a function of what?
Mind.
Of the manas. So desire would be distinguished from intentionality?
Well, intentionality, what do you mean by intentionality? Intentionality is like the vasana. Are you speaking about how it manifests?
Let's say when you take a certain decision, about a course of action, let's say
So
the
decision
intention that drives the action forward.
So decision is taken by buddhi, and then intention means what is the purpose behind it. That is controlled by the ego. I want to enjoy it, or I want to get it.
You finish? Ahankara can change. Our idea of ourselves can change.
Yeah.
What are the forces that effect such a change? What are the forces, what are the ways that can effect such a change?
Well, change can even come from food. You can eat wrong type of food, you get diarrhea, your ankle goes down. You're not enthusiastic anymore to do anything. But it changes by knowledge, by understanding. Many things influence it. These are all material elements. So anything material can influence them. But strongest influence for the subtle senses comes by understanding, by hearing.
So what actually stabilizes the ahankara? Now you mentioned that, like I'm a brahmachari, I'm a kshatriya, whatever. These are kind of external identities. Even when I'm a bhakta, there are so many possibilities to feel myself as a bhakta on so many levels. So what is it that gives me that fixity of identity? Like in the material where people are just told what they are more or less by advertisements in schools and whatever.
Yeah, so here also we are told, or we hear, we listen, we understand, and then we fix it.
So it comes by one's own deliberation,
Yes.
gradually.
Yeah, and it is, when we are children, we are given. That's why these samskaras are performed. These Vedic samskaras, the purpose of them was to give you an identity, a particular type of ahankara. Now you are a brahmachari, you got your sacred thread ceremony. So he has this ahankara. Now he knows that now I must not do something like this because I am a brahmachari. If he has got this, and that's why the person for whom the samskara was done, he was the center of it. there are many other people around who may be even more important, but whenever some samskara was done, he was made the center of that ceremony to make him feel important, and then actually to digest this fact that yes, now I am this. And then he also knows that so many people have witnessed it. That's why marriage ceremony and all this, why so much pomp and show was done here in India, only to fix the ahankar of that person, because it's not easy.
So this is something given by the society
Yes.
outside,
And you are willing to take it.
and you identify yourself with it because
So same way you come to spiritual life, you take diksha, and you get an identity. And that of course identity is related with your real I. So there are two eyes, there is a real I of Atma, and then there is something related with the body. So the goal of this material I is to cooperate in a way to realize the real I. That is the whole idea behind it. So you have to take help from it, because you cannot function without it. The real I is dysfunctional without the material I. You just cannot do anything. If it has to function with the acquired I only. So therefore that acquired I is, that's why it is called acquired I. It is given. Whether it is given by the society or you make it yourself. So previously in this, because a child does not know anything, so he was given by the society for his welfare. Now that system is gone, so there are no samskaras. In the West they had samskaras. At least some were there, not as many as in India. But now when that is gone, therefore people don't know what they are. So an 85-year-old guy is also wearing jeans, and a 20-year-old fellow is also wearing jeans, and wearing same type of cloth. They don't know what is their identity. Both think we are same, because now there is no vanprastha, there is no sannyas that I can wear jeans now. So all this identity is stretched. There is only one identity now, youth. Everybody is young. Nothing else. Young and enjoying. So people are therefore confused. Then they have to go to psychotherapists. And they try to figure out what they are.
The identity problem.
Right? And then they try to figure out their identity problem and try to fix them somewhere.
But what you're saying, Babaji, let's say you take like a very wealthy family like the Rockefellers, offspring of a couple, the Rockefellers, they're told very early on, you are a daughter or a son of the Rockefellers, and
Yeah,
don't
so
forget that. And then they had, later on, they realize what that means, and they're identified with that label.
And they behave in a particular manner because of that. So it is all because of identity. Because your behavior follows your identity. Now when there is a mismatch of identity, so there is no identity, then people feel tense about it, they are disturbed. Because previously the identity was also given according to your nature. That was the whole Varnashram system. Now you are given an identity, it doesn't suit your nature. It's like a shoe, it doesn't fit you. So it keeps on bothering you. So then what do? You take drug. You drink. So then you renounce that, because then you feel happy. Now you can speak something which you would not do otherwise. I'm a Rockefeller son or whatever, but when I'm drunk, I can say anything. So that is to surpass your identity and feel free. So this need comes because of that. Why there is so much drug now, especially in the West? Why? Because people's identities are confused and they are not matching their personality, their nature. It's like a burden to them. Otherwise, when it matches, then it's not a burden. You feel happy with it. And you don't need a drug.
Well, it's almost like it's across the board misidentification. I mean, who knows very early on that I'm a jiva soul, I'm a spirit soul in a body. That's the real identification, right? Knowing who
And that
you
is
are.
the goal, to realize that, but that no one
Yeah.
knows.
That's like the ultimate truth.
So therefore Bhagavad Gita begins with this identity crisis. So the crisis Arjuna was going through. He was a Kshatriya, but he got into the crisis. So Krishna was saying, but you are a Kshatriya, how come you say you don't want to fight? Supina Kshatriya Partha Lavanta Yuddham Idrisham. Says Kshatriyas are happy to get a war like this. And you are saying you don't want to fight. What happened? That means he was not thinking anymore like a Kshatriya now. His identity, he was thinking, I'm nephew of this person, I'm cousin brother of this person. He was only seeing his other identities. And with those identities he cannot fight. You see how the identity and the action go along. Why he was saying what he was saying? Because at that time he was not relating with his main identity. We have many identities. It's not only one. We play many roles, but there is one major role. Which we play. So under different situations we have to have different roles. So at that time he was supposed to play the role of a Kshatriya. But he started playing some other role. I am disciple of Dronacharya, I am grandson of Bhishma. How can I shoot arrows? Katham Bhishma and Drona. Ishubhe Prativatsami Puja Varishabham. How can I shoot arrows with them? They are worthy of my worship.
From this understanding, there needs to be knowledge and also a natural inclination in order to accept a certain identity,
Yeah, the identity has to match with your inclination.
an attraction to it.
If you have inclination means attraction. If there is inclination, there is attraction, is natural. That's why Krishna says, Swasvai karmane abhiratha sansiddhim yati. That remaining engaged in your own karma, you can attain perfection. Karma there is a technical word. Means your duty according to your nature. Karmanaive sansiddhim astika jankagaya. People like Janka attain sansiddhi, perfection by karma. Means doing their duty according to their nature. And of course in relationship with God. That's doing duty. So this is karma as per the Vedic injunction.
It seems like the form of the Lord one is most attracted by. That governs how one interprets the scriptures. You know?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like we see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, because he's attracted to Krishna, Radha Krishna, then he interprets the Shastra in a consistent way, in a way that satisfies his inclination. It would say a person who's attracted to the Brahman feature or the Paramatma feature, then he would interpret it a different way.
Yeah.
And all are right, no?
Yeah, all are right. This is the beauty. They will all be satisfied. But this is the deepest interpretation, you can say. because when you interpret it like the Brahman and certain things, you will be hard pressed to interpret. Like this statement that Priti Prahasita Apangam. This will be very difficult for a Brahma person to interpret. That he is looking to the side, laughing out of love. This doesn't suit them.
Right.
So therefore the complete understanding will come and it is interpreted from point of view of Krishna. That's why he gave this interpretation. Padmanabha Upasaka, Vaikuntha Upasaka, Krishna Upasaka.
I heard, I just want to share this. I heard a man talking to his son one time in the street. The kid was about 7, 8. And he says, you have to think like a Johnson and feel like a Johnson. Behave like a Johnson. You're in the Johnson family. What's the matter with you? And the little kid was like,
So he's talking about the identity.
yes. The kid was baffled.
What's a Johnson?
Yeah, what is a Johnson?
The son of John.